Hi guys, it is Nicole from iiKiui, and today I have another tips and tricks video for you guys. So today I'm going to be covering the topic of hands, and this was highly requested. I just want to say that I am no expert, but let's go ahead and get started. So first I'm going to draw my hand, and I'm using an eyeliner because I didn't want to permanently draw my hand. So right now I'm just going to show you the basic shapes that I chop up the hand into when I draw. So my first tip is to draw a trapezoid, and this covers most of the palm. Now the next part is to draw a triangle above that, and this is to show the highest point of the hand. So you can see that the highest point is under the middle finger. Afterwards, I just draw lines to connect it to the triangle, and these lines represent the fingers. Now you can see that the middle finger line connects straight to the tip of the triangle, and that is because that is the highest point of the hand. Now I'm going to draw the thumb, and the way I do this is I draw an oval, and this usually originates at the bottom of the trapezoid. Now this part represents the kind of chunky part, I guess, of the hand, and then I draw a line out from that to represent the thumb. Now the thumb only goes up to the knuckle of the index finger, or at least mine does, but I do know that there's a bunch of different kinds of thumbs. Now you see me drawing on the inside of my hand, and this is because the inside part actually accentuates the round part of the thumb more. So if you were to draw an inside of the hand, keep in mind that part because it helps show us that you're drawing an inside rather than the outside. Unfortunately, my eyeliner was kind of smushed, so it didn't draw very well, but you kind of get the gist. You see the trapezoid in my palm, and the little triangle that goes up to the middle finger, and the lines that go back up. So now we're going to talk a little bit about thumbs. You can see in this picture on the left is my thumb, and on the right is her thumb. And we have slightly different thumbs. Mine's a straight one and hers is slightly curved, but I know there are more like curved or hitchhiker thumbs. You can Google them and see the different types. So if you have a different one, just look at your own hand and see what that's like. So I decided to go ahead and draw it again, and this time not on my hand, but on a piece of paper, so that you guys can see what it's like to draw it on paper, which is what I'm assuming you would rather draw on than your hand. So as I said, there's the trapezoid, and under that is the wrist, and I think it's important to include the wrist just because you know what direction the arm is going, or the hand is going. And there you see I added the triangle and then the sticks for the fingers. And the thumb is the oval, and the line for the thumb. Here you see that the top of the point is the middle finger, as I said before, and then it goes downwards when you go to the index and down the ring, and I noticed that it's kind of a similar distance, and then for the pinky, it goes a significant distance down, just because it's about 2/3 of the way up from the ring finger, at least in my hand. I'm not sure about other people's hands, but you can look at your own and see. I've also heard that males' hands, their ring finger is taller or something, or shorter. I don't remember which way it went, but yeah. And then a simplified way is just to draw the peak at the top as well, just to get the basic shape of the hand, instead of drawing the individual fingers. If you want to just get like a solid shape, then go ahead and connect them all. And here I'm drawing the thumbs again. So you can see that there's a little bit of a difference between the two, and I only look at my own thumb, so I only draw straight thumbs, but I'm sure there are plenty others in the world. So now I'm going to cover the topic of knuckles, and here I'm just drawing another hand, but you can see that we have 3 knuckles in our fingers and 2 joints in our thumb. And I found that if you make another kind of peak or the line similar to the other one that we made from the triangle that's kind of where your middle knuckle is, and then a little bit towards the top, like the last third of your finger or so, is the other one. And in the thumb, it kind of varies because I looked it up on Google and I saw that some people have their joints higher up and some lower. So I guess it all just depends on your preference or what you have for reference, whatever you want to do. So although we have 3 knuckles, you'll find that a lot of artists actually use 2 knuckles, and that's just to simplify it so we don't have to go into too much detail while still showing the gesture of the hand. And the idea is still pretty much the same. It's just that with the 3 knuckles, I think you can get more of like if you're drawing someone gripping a ball, then you want to show that. But you can still get it across with 2. It's just that the front of the top part of the finger will probably be bent more just to show the 3rd knuckle. The next tip is to use reference. So I think the best reference that you can use is your own hand, but if you're trying to draw a right hand and you're right-handed, that might be a little bit difficult. But it's also good to maybe take a picture of it and use it that way, or have someone else do it for you, maybe have someone do the pose for you with their hands in the way you want it. I think drawing from life is probably the best way to learn it, and it's what helped me learn it quickly, I guess. I mean, I'm still learning on how to draw hands. I'm not an expert. I still can't do foreshortening and all that fun stuff, but just for like the poses that I want and how I draw hands, I'll either Google some pictures, maybe like graceful poses. I tend to go for something that looks pretty elegant because I like how they look, or I'll do it myself, and that way you can get the pose exactly how you want it, and you don't have to spend your time trying to imagine how it looks like. Like the easiest tool for you to use is your own hand because it's kind of attached to your body. So I think you should take advantage of that and use it to learn how to draw hands. Now here is a page that I did when I was practicing hands, and you may have saw this in my June daily doodles, I believe. And it was just a day I decided that I wanted to experiment and see if I could challenge myself to draw hands in different poses. So a lot of these poses are what I'm used to drawing, but I actually do like drawing hands. They're one of my favorite things to draw. So because of that, I wanted to practice, and I thought that I would help you guys along the way. So here I'm just showing you a little bit of my process, and it's nothing fancy. I'm just drawing typical hands that I'm used to drawing, and you can see how I draw fingers and the process that I go through to get the positioning right. So yes, that is that part. And lastly, before I end this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about wrists. So for my particular wrist, it only bends so far. It doesn't bend at a 90-degree angle, maybe at a 70 around there. I'm not really sure what the exact degree is, but I know that it's not straight up. I know there are some people that can bend it really far, but for me and my characters, I don't bend the wrist as far back. I think that if you base your proportions off of real life, then it'll really help bring your character to life or make it more believable that it could exist in our world. So in the first example, I'm drawing one where it's like my hand and my wrist does not go past the 90-degree. And in the second example, I show that a wrist going past the 90-degree, just so you can see the difference between the two. The choice is up to you whether or not you want your character to have a wrist that goes back farther or not. So just to recap, we start off with a trapezoid, then put a triangle on top and add sticks for the fingers. For the thumb, I use an oval and a stick, and usually the thumb length, for me in particular, ends at the first at the second knuckle of the index finger, so kind of like in the middle. Then we talked a little bit about knuckles and how we have 3 knuckles, but we tend to draw 2 of them just to simplify it. So it's up to you whether or not you want to do that. Then we discussed how you can use references for drawing hands and how it's really useful and helpful in getting the right pose that you want. And then I showed you some of the way I draw hands and my process, and then we talked about wrists and how they work. So overall, I hope this video was very helpful to you. There are plenty more tips and tricks videos coming soon. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!